G'day YouTubers, just a quick video, and just it's a little bit of a warning. It's nothing to panic about, but it's about the Grainfather software, and I was just having a play with the recipe and I was scaling it and I just noticed things were just not working. Now Grainfather are really good and they'll probably get on it and fix it, or it could be a problem in my browser somewhere. I don't know how, but it could be. But something just to keep an eye on. And what was happening as I was scaling recipes, I was trying to use the right number of decimal places. When you round it, when you scale it, it asks you. You'll see it in the video. But sometimes it just wasn't working. And there was no way back. Keep an eye on those percentages at the side, because they should remain identical. Just the amount of the grain should change. But mine was jumping. It seems to be, again, errors for like under a kilo, like a point of the kilo. Anyway, have a look, and it's just a warning. It's not, anything to panic about, but if you're scaling recipes, keep an eye on it, because when I was putting an extra litre of water into a recipe where it should have added, maybe 2 grams extra of a grain, it doubled the grain. It went to the 0.1, it rounded it off to 0.1 instead of, 0.053 or something it should have been. Anyway, it's best if you look at the footage and you'll see it happen. New recipe, import, we'll go Brewfather, and we'll pick the one we saved, which happens to be the XML, just for people's, yeah, it's the XML file, not the JSON file that it's importing in. Okay, bang. So now we're in here. Our OG's lower. Our FG's better. Because it's... What happens here is, what I've found is my normal Grainfather one says about 82, not 72 for mash efficiency. Because I reckon that's 72 brewhouse efficiency from Brewfather, not mash efficiency. Because I know I get about 80 or so in Brewfather too. So let's just add my equipment profile again, and it says it's going to scale. So we'll scale the recipe, and we'll leave it at 3 decimal places, because we might need 50 something grams or something. 3 decimal places. Now why is my roast malt going down? Oh, because I'm getting better efficiency. But the OG's gone down. Different system, and it's scaled my grain, lowered my grain. We want my grain back up. I probably shouldn't have pressed scale, but that's okay. We can go in here and get to my gravity, and we can put it to the 54 we want. And we can press scale, and we're going to go 3 again. We don't want round values. Why is it saying naught? This is problematic, and it's a mistake that's happened. I just tried to film it before and it went to 100 grams. I try and do it now and it's gone to 0. And I mean 0, even the percentage is saying 0. That is a fault. Let's try again. Brewfather, open. Okay. We've got our 50 grams, which is a 0.9%. And that's 50 grams, that's perfect, that's what it should be. But things are wrong here. I want to use the Grainfather profile, so I add it to the recipe. This time we won't scale efficiency, this time we'll leave it. Right, the recipe's all right. Everything's right in the recipe. That's good. Except our OG's up. That's actually what it was saying in Brewfather. But I want the batch size up. I want to go to 25 litres. Because I've got that little bit of extra space in here. So I can up the and scale. You can see the roasted barley down there. It's scaled properly this time. But I want more. I want 3 decimal places so I can get down here the 53 grams and not just back to 50. We'll see if it's going to work this time. 54. There you go. It worked this time. It's confusing. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It depends which way you go. I'm not 100% sure, but when I was first trying to do it at 2 decimal places, before it was going to 0.1. Anyway, it's working. It's something to keep an eye on. It really is something to keep an eye on if you're doing this. But I've gone to 56 again. I want to scale. I want to go back down to, hang on, before we do that, let's get that roast barley on the screen so we can see it in the background. Let's scale that back down to 54. Scale. Aha! See, bang, 0.1. That's, you know, double. It's just not right. It's just not right. Round values, bang, it's gone wrong. It's gone wrong. This is something to keep an eye out when you are scaling recipes. As you just saw, that should not have happened. Everything else is just adjusted a tiny little bit, you know. And I had round to 3 decimal places, not to 1. And it's changed. Just something to keep an eye on. I'm sure they will get on there and fix it. It's some sort of bug, sometimes I couldn't replicate it, but sometimes I could. It just replicated itself then. And after that, I don't think it's going to matter what I do. So even if I go to, you know, maybe if I go to 56, and I scale. And I'll make sure I do that 3 because I want it 3 decimal places. Round values. No, I mean, it hasn't changed. Where all the others have. But why is it all gone to... That's 1 decimal value. Even these ones, they can't all be that even. They can't be. Let's drop it down to something. 24... Scale, no, we want 3. Or 96. But that can't be right. Because it started at 50 in the original recipe. So it's rounded it down now to 3 numbers. But it's wrong. Because it's remembered that 0.1 when it made that mistake. Ugh. Painful. Alright, anyway, I hope that helps someone. Keep an eye on it. And hopefully they fix it. Hopefully they fix it before you see this video. But I think it's important to let people know if they're going to scale a recipe by a couple of litres or whatever, just to keep a close eye. And the way you'll be able to look at it is keep an eye on this percentage. Because that should be 0.9. Now, I don't know how I can change. Can I work by percentages in here? I thought someone's told me I could at one stage. But no, it's efficiency, that's gravity. I don't think I can, which you should be able to. Hopefully they fix that, or someone can let me know in comments down below how you can adjust the percentages to adjust your grain, because that is, you know, very, very helpful. And, you know, that's how you should be sharing your recipes, by percentages. It's more accurate than, and now I know, you know, if I could change that to 0.9, then it might fix things up. There you go. There's a little bit of a warning. I just changed shirts because the other one had a stain. But I also realised when I was editing, I've got that Gash TV logo up there. So I hope that wasn't confusing, that video. It was a part of another video. I didn't go and re-record it specifically for this. It was a video I was doing for my Patreons. But looking at it then, it's sort of... It might be a fault in the rounding, is what I think it is, because yeah, it's even though I had 3 decimal places, you saw it round to 1 decimal place, and once it does that, once I had like 50 something grams or 50 grams of malt, and it rounded it to 1 decimal place, and it put it to 100 grams, which is wrong. That's like double, you know, it's going to stuff the recipe. So that's what I think the problem is, and there's no way back. There's no way back if you've, you know, is there an undo function? I can't see it on the website if there is. People could leave a comment down below if there is. But that's what the problem is, I think. It's something to do with the rounding, and hopefully they'll get onto that and fix it. Because once I went to that 100 grams, there was no going back. So if you hadn't kept an eye on things and you can't change it by the percentage, yeah, let me know if you can. But just keep an eye on it, because it really would have changed that recipe into not a very nice beer. 100 grams of chocolate malt compared to 50. It would have been a different beer. It just wouldn't have been a red beer. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Hopefully that helps. Keep an eye on it, and hopefully they fix it soon. Cheers. Thank you to everyone. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share. This video went way longer than I expected, but I thought I'd show you the whole process and what happened, because it threw in a couple of errors there. And I think, yeah, I'll send this to Grainfather. They'll see it. I'll put it on their Facebook page. Ta-da! Cheers. Thanks to my Patreons.